Welcome back to Lunch with a Life Coach. I'm Deanna, and we are chatting today about a question that has perplexed many folks for many years. So sit back, get cozy, get comfy, grab your lunch, your dinner, your coffee, tea, whatever the case is. And there's a couple maybe writer downers in this. You may want a pen and a pencil. Here's my question to you today. Have you ever been in a frazzled state where you may look like or feel like that cartoon character that has all of those thought bubbles around them in a variety of different areas, asking many questions, many thoughts all at one time, and you just think, I don't know. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to turn. I don't know what is the next right step, let alone maybe actually even the next step to take. So if that, we have all been there. I've been there. We have all been there at some point or another. And so I want you today, if that's you, to think about, or put this in your back pocket for another time, write it down. Here's the question. What do you want? And the first thing that you might experience is, well, I don't know what I want. And that's why I was just describing to you all these thought bubbles around. You see how many options I have? I don't actually even know what I want. Why are you asking me such a silly question? I've also been there. I've been there with my coach also. So here's what I want you to think about. You know, and many folks are aware of this analogy. Some folks aren't. So you might have a bit of homework. You know that Staple, the company or the brand or the store called Staples, in that commercial with the big red easy button that it says, hey, if this task is real difficult, hit this big red easy button, everything falls into place. I want you to think about that idea. And if you're not sure, just think, Google Staples easy red easy button. And think about that. Bring that to mind, that big red button. You maybe are somebody that watches, I don't know, American Ninja Warrior or whatever the case is, and there's a button you got to hit. Just stop what's going on. Yes? You're going to create in your mind, and maybe in front of you, a stop button. Big red button, looks like a stop sign, it says stop in the middle. And the question, when you are frazzled, when you're feeling out of control, when you're what ifing things to, the nth degree, etc., I want you to think about that stop button. And you can, in whatever way you want, close your eyes, maybe smack your desk if that's appropriate. I won't do that because it'll make everything shake here. I want you to really have something that actually feels like you're hitting the brakes, and you're going to hit your brakes on all of those thoughts that you're having. So you think all of these options. Do I apply for this job? Do this? Do I start my own business? Do I move to a different city? Like, there's so many things. You're going to hit your big red stop button. Stop. What do I want? Now, if you think I have no idea, totally valid, friends. We often don't have an idea of what we want because we haven't actually spent the time to discover what we do want. So here's where we can begin. Make a list of the things that you don't want. So if I were to say to you, what do you want? You think, I have no idea. Okay. What don't you want? Well, I don't want to feel stressed anymore. Well, I don't want to work at this crappy job anymore. I don't want to feel like I'm always, dropping the ball on something. You could make a big list of I don't wants, right? That can be a place to start. Even though we want to shift towards the things we do want, sometimes that lens through which we begin to look and make decisions can actually be filtered by the don'ts, right? Can start us on that journey by saying what I don't want. So make a list. I would invite you to brainstorm. What are the things you don't want? And then with that list, have a look at it. Are there some like categories? When you look at it, do you, I'm a health and wellness person, and you may not know, I am a health wellness person. So you may look and say, I don't want to feel tired anymore. I don't want to feel achy anymore. I don't want to have this pain anymore. I don't want to feel sluggish anymore. If you look at those, even though you say, oh my gosh, those are 4 things, how must I tackle all of these 4 things? Actually look at them and they're all related. So what is one change you could make that actually impacts those 4 things as an example, right? That's where we start to get those ideas when we see it on paper or a whiteboard or on your phone or however it is for you that works. We actually look at it, we can find some of those common themes that really say, hey, you know what? I actually have one change to make here. I have one small shift I could make. It can impact a lot of the things and get us started to moving towards what you do want, right? So having a look at, excuse me, the don't can be really useful to get started. And sometimes just help us hit that big stop button and, kind of stop that hamster wheel, or hamster wheel sometimes isn't even fast enough. It might feel like a Ferris wheel with no brakes, right? In terms of how challenging that state can feel for us. Now, I want you to start to think about, and it might not be now in this moment, it might be sort of the next step after you figure out your don'ts. What do you want? And so if you've got a list of, let's say, there are 3 career options you have, and you think, I don't know, that's why I'm here. Which of these do I want? Can I suggest to you that don't start looking at the job. Now, if it's between, you say, hey, I need financial freedom, or I need an increase in revenue right now. That's my only thing that I need to consider. Well, then you're going to pick the job that pays the most, right? That's an easy peasy decision. And I don't think that's what you're facing if you're still listening. So I want you to think about, let's use this career example. I've got 3 choices in front of me of work that I could be doing, right? It could be your own business, a different job, etc. Now, pause on that, because it's not the job, right? The reason we're having the decision is it's not these 3 choices, right? If it was, if there was one clear winner, that would be the one we would jump at. Step back. What are some of the things that you know are important to you? What are some of those things that you maybe haven't had in the past, that you had briefly, that you were thinking, oh yeah, this is it. This is the thing, the one little, turn of the key that actually has helped open up other things. What are some of those things? Has it been more flexibility in a previous role? Has it been a 9 to 5 that freed up your evenings and weekends because that suits your life's circumstance? And there's no right or wrong here. And please don't, I should this, I should that, like I should work 9 to 5 so I can be with my family. I don't know, like stop shooting all over yourself, as they say. And I really want you to say, what do I want? You're not making a particular decision. You're not now saying, I quit, I'm out, right? We're exploring here. All options are on the table. So what do you want in general? What's really important to you? What do you value? Starting to look at those and those values and those things that are really important to you, those experiences that you had. Don't go back to the don'ts right now, but the experiences that you've had that have really fulfilled you, helped you feel settled in the position or place that you're in. Where are those? And if right now you're like, I've never had that experience, that's a really strong word, never. Ask yourself, again, maybe nothing comes to mind. Frame it like that. Nothing comes to mind yet. And then from there, what I'd love for you to do is say, I wonder when the last time I felt really content, or, the thing that you're looking for. What is the thing? And starting to realize the thing about why, one of the things, not the thing, there's never the answer, but one of the possible solutions or answers here as to why we can't find what we do want is because we haven't actually given ourselves the time and space to consider those options. We've often because of life circumstance, because of the urgency of whatever you're dealing with, we just, your head's down, you're doing the thing. And, I respect you for that, right? That is something that you are digging in and doing the thing that needs done. Do you want to get to the end of your life just having done the thing that needs done? I want to ask you that again. Do you want to get to the end of your life and say, well, I did the thing that needed done. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it. I didn't feel happy. I wasn't actually impacting others in the way that I wanted, but I did the thing. Is that something you're okay with? So sit with that type of question as well. So when we give ourselves some time and space to start to say, what do I want? And if you're an action taker, if you have a bit of an action bias, like you take action, even if you haven't thought it all the way through, I want you to spend some time with that. Today in your lunch with a life coach, you're going to write down that question. What do I want? And let yourself percolate on that, dream on that, set a time. If you're an action person, I know you're like, I want this done now. Okay. If we say it's done now, you're probably not getting to the answer that you need. So set a time limit. I get it. Action folks, I see you. So set a time limit. Say for 2 days, I'm going to continue to ask myself this question. What is it that I want? When was a time I was really feeling motivated, passionate about something, satisfied with a particular decision, etc. Okay. And again, like the list of don'ts, that when we write all those down, we could find some commonalities. When you then go into the do's, right, and let yourself start to kind of explore that and look at, hey, this time, a few years ago, I felt this, and yesterday I felt this, and I remember in such and such a time 10 years ago, I felt that. You can look, what are the commonalities between those things? Were you in service of others? Were you at a certain financial income level that helped you feel, satisfied, etc.? So it's really to say, what are those different commonalities? And that can help to lead us to what we do want. To circle back to the idea about trying to decide between those 3 jobs or career paths, look at what you've come to realize you do want. Which of those 3 options are most in alignment with what you actually want, right? So it can be a strategy to help us move through. And the last thing I want to say, lunch with a life coach is meant to be quick, but give you time to eat. Yes, you have fueled yourself. Excellent. And maybe you haven't fueled yourself, but it is the topic. It's the thing it's called. And don't we love food? So we love talking about food. Before we go, I want you to ponder one other thing. You have been, or you're here, you're still listening because you're wondering what you do want. Is it possible that the things or some of the things that you do want, you have wanted, some of the situations, relationships, job pieces, whatever the case is, have already happened, are currently happening, or maybe have really recently happened, but you were too dang busy to notice? And I wanted to just give you an example. It's a kind of a funny example. I have one that's a little bit more personal. That's part of other folks are part of it. That's not my whole story to tell. So I hang on to this one and I give you a really simple story. I have 2 dogs, as you may or may not know. If you follow me anywhere else, you may have seen pictures of my dogs. And we have just gone through a major renovation to create a new space to be, as well as a workout space for clients, a coaching space that is more private, etc. Now, in my 2 years ago mind, I had this vision of a space where I had a dog bed that my pups could be while I worked. That I didn't have to be, separate and checking on them over here. I didn't have to be, this, that, and the other. And a couple of days ago, I was sitting here working away and I looked over and there were those 2 sweet pups snoozing away, snoring away. Thankfully, I wasn't live on anything. Snoring away on that dog bed. And I thought, I need to pause. This was actually part of what I envisioned. This was part of my vision. This was part of what I wanted 2 years ago. And if I was, oh, great, and went on, because it was such an innocent thing. It was such a random, seemingly inconsequential moment. But it was something that I wanted to move towards, right? And it also represents a lot more for my family, but it is something that you want to say, hey, am I too busy to notice that I've already gotten to the thing that I want? Because we need to create time and space for recognizing where we are, acknowledging where we are. What do I want to hold onto that I've got? What don't I want any longer? Although I might need to keep for a while. And then what are my next steps, right? You've got to give yourself a little bit of time and space to be able to discover where you really want to go. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to get to the end of this life and go, yeah, I just got by. I'll see you back soon. Have a great rest of your day.